Welcome to the Esoteric Alkhemy podcast, a space where we explore deeper layers of the human experience. I'm your host, Ben Figueredo, an alchemist, healer, and guide. Join me and my guests to the fringes of science and magic, the depths of the inner world. We'll explore topics related to spirituality, philosophy, sacred geometry, the occult, and more, with the aim of gaining deeper understanding of the reality of the self.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. It has been a minute because life has been, well, it's just been a process, right? That's what life is, just watching the movie, essentially. I've just been deep in the process of deconditioning even more, pulling back all the layers, been busy with getting the Embody Your Design workshop ready to go and set up, and that's a whole other thing of not knowing whether that's going to happen or not if we don't get enough people signed up. So yeah, it's just been a whole process of letting go, surrendering, peeling back the layers, learning to trust life, and again, just taking the opportunity to see, where am I not in alignment with myself? Where do I, taking a look at the shadows, doing shadow work in that sense of where are my limiting beliefs about myself and about the world, about money, about what I deserve. A big thing that I've been learning and realizing is still that deep within my body, in my cells, that I feel like and I believe like I can't relax, like I can't rest. And if I do, I might die. And so that's been a big lesson and a big deconditioning that I've been working on lately, is learning to just let go and learn to trust that even when I let go and relax, life is going to take care of everything. Life is going to hold me, that I can just sit back in the sweet embrace of the universe and trust that everything will continue without me at the helm. Not that I ever was, but that's the illusion that our mind thinks, right? We think that we are in control of our own life. So anyway, today I actually thought I would bring you a special episode because I actually thought about this. I've been wanting to release this for a couple months now. I thought about adding it to the roster, but I just realized that today, as I'm recording this and as I'm going to publish it, that it's 3 years to the day that I went and did this psilocybin ceremony out in the wild, all by myself, 6-mile hike, actually 4-mile hike, in to do this up in the mountains. And I actually recorded about a half-hour trip report just like the very next morning. And nothing crazy, just some of the insights, some of the things that I was feeling, a little bit about what I remembered from the trip, which wasn't a lot, honestly. That trip was very subconscious. There was a lot, it was mainly all subconscious, the work that was done. So I know it was profound, and I could feel it in my body and my soul, like that shifts had happened, that things were released. And I do remember a lot of things that happened, and I still never made a full trip report about it. Perhaps I will at some point. I need to go back through and look at my diary, my journal, my diary. I've never called it a diary, that's funny. My journal, and see what I wrote about it. But honestly, that as I was looking back and watching the video as I was editing it, and honestly, I didn't edit that much. I wanted to keep it really raw and authentic, to just let it be kind of what came out. So there was only a couple spots that I edited out, some unnecessary gaps in spaces that were really big, but yeah, it's funny to go back and see, like, wow, this really, that night, that ceremony really started a deep process that has led me to where I am today. Because 3 years ago, I was married, I was up in Idaho, I was I was deep in it, and it's fun to see. It's always fun to look back on these things, right? So anyway, I wanted to share this with you in hopes that you'll get something out of it, if you like this kind of stuff. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So leave a comment below, or shoot me a message on Instagram or an email or whatever. I'd be happy to talk to you about this. And yeah, the several trips that I've gone on in my experience with plant medicine, and maybe I'll do some more in the future. But anyway, check this out, and I'll catch you on the next one.
I don't even know where to start. I don't even know if I can put this experience into words that make sense to anyone. Not until I've really processed it and integrated it yet. I mean, there are some things, some good things. But man, was that the most difficult, uncomfortable trip I've had. It felt like an eternity had passed and the sun hadn't even gone down yet. And I pretty much wanted it to be over as soon as it started. I hurt my back. So I'm wincing in pain right now. I guess I just overworked it, carrying the backpack up here, and bent over to get something and just cramped up on me. Anyway, yeah, the sun hadn't even gone down yet, and I kept thinking about the darkness, and the darkness is coming. But then it was taking forever, and it was just like this lingering dread of the darkness. Of like, oh no, it's coming, it's coming. But it's interesting because the darkness always comes, and the darkness always goes away. The light comes back, just like this morning. Beautiful sunlight warming me up right now. But it's only when we embrace and love the darkness for what it is, for what it does, for what it brings, as scary as it is because it's unknown, it's nothingness. I think that's why we go to sleep in the dark. It's because we are essentially entering into that nothingness and just not existing. We're not conscious. And yet, even though we're not conscious, our body continues. to breathe, to pump blood, to heal, to process. We don't got to do any of that. We just got to trust life. We got to let go and stop clinging so tight to the way we think it should be, or trying to make it happen the way we want. You know, and that's not to say I don't think you should just, you know, go with like just blow in the wind, the leaf on the wind, and not try to, you know, get what you want or have a life, you know, that you desire, that you are happy with, because I think that is part of the natural process of life, is to be happy, is to have what you desire, because those desires are in your genes, they're in your genetics, they're in the way you're made, right? Because evolution, the universe, is always trying to evolve. It's always trying to get to the next step. And it's just like with sex. We have sex because it feels good, right? It's pleasurable, it's connection, it's love. And the orgasm, I mean, don't even get me started. I mean, that just feels great, right? Physically. But why do we have sex? Ultimately, when we make that connection with another being, and that we experience that love energy, that life force energy of love, what can happen? Another being is created by that union. And so what I'm saying is, the universe knows, and in order for it to keep going and evolving and getting better, it needs to replicate, right? It needs to split out into its fractal geometry patterns. And we do that through pleasure, through desire, through, you know, experiencing fully the connection to another being. And on a physical level, on a survival level, yeah, we just seek that pleasure. But it's so much deeper than that if we really feel it and not just do it out of survival instinct. You know, even though that's what the purpose is, it can be so much higher than that. So, again, I'm just saying, we see that mirrored in one aspect of life, with sex. And it's like, why would that not be the case for the rest of our life? And I guess I'm coming from a perspective that, growing up Christian, there was always this ideal of being humble and poor, and kind of sacrificing your desires for the greater good, which I think to some extent is healthy and good, because you want the collective to continue, because the collective is you. So there is some survival there. Answers starting to come out. I don't know where I'm going with this. Got on a tangent, went down a rabbit hole. I guess this is one of the things I'm just like processing as we go. So I guess the point is, life should be lived for pleasure. God is a pleasure seeker. You know, I mean, and through that pleasure, through that seeking, is when we find our higher purpose. It's the things that make us happy, the things that bring us joy, the things that light our soul on fire and give us energy instead of taking it away. right? It's this. It all comes back to the torus field, the torus donut, the infinite spiral that we all are, and that the universe is, that the earth is, on an energetic level, where it implodes, the energy goes in, but then it also comes out and goes right back in. It's a cycle. And so when we're giving our energy to something and it's giving back, we give our energy, but we're also getting it back. And so it's like sustainable energy. You know, and it's this creation process. It's this partnership with whatever it is that you're doing. You're giving to it, it's giving to you. You're creating this thing, you're giving it life force, and in turn it's giving you life force. And ultimately, that's what love is, right? Love, if we were to boil it down to its most simplest terms, it's a giving of life energy, a self-sacrifice of, this is my life energy, but I'm going to give it to you so that you can flourish and that you can manifest and incarnate in this world of thought and form. And so you have to have that trust, right? Love is self-giving. But if that thing loves you back, it's going to give you that life force energy. It's going to be like, it's a trade-off, right? It's a continual trade-off. And if that's what I would say is the definition of love. It's a self-sacrificing care and giving of energy to the other, which is really yourself anyway. It's giving yourself away. It's giving your life force energy. But knowing, if you put it in the right place, it'll come back. Yeah, so to continue on with the trip report, the overview, this is not going to be a full detailed report because I still have to process a lot of it and do that, but that'll be the next video. Yeah, so it hit heavy. It was a struggle. I was feeling nauseous, so nauseous for seemed like a long time, but I don't think it really was. And I just remember seeing, like, going in, putting the blindfold on, going through this crazy trip and thoughts and things, and then I would come out of it, pull the blindfold off, and it was still sunlight. I was like, oh my God, I just felt like I was in there forever, in eternity, and the sun's still out. And I think at this point, it's only been 30 minutes. When I tell you that the fastest hitting mushrooms, I didn't have lemon at all. I just chewed up the whole mushroom, all 5 grams of it. That was a chore itself. And within 10 minutes, I started feeling it. And I remember thinking, oh God, is it starting already? Like, I thought it was going to have an hour or so. And then I just remember feeling so tired and nauseous. I went and laid down in my bed in the hammock. And I don't know how long I was in there for, but I went inside again.
or I guess that was the first time. That's kind of when the effects were starting to happen. And I was starting to just hear all these vibrations and, you know, the frequencies of this reality. And then I don't remember, at some point I got out because I was feeling so nauseous, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go. Might have been getting cold, and I think I was going to try to start the fire. But I came out here, and I was just kind of sitting. I'm trying to remember because it was just so much information. But yeah, and then I was struggling, so nauseous, and trying to breathe and trying to push through it. I remember just kind of writhing and being in child's pose and being on my back and rolling around. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to puke. And so I got up, turned around, and just puked into the grass. And it was just bile, like liquid, and greenish white, I guess, is what I remember. And then also I noticed some dark brown kind of gunk mixed in with it in the last little bit. And I don't know if it was blood or if it was just negative energy that needed to be expelled. It needed to be purged from my body. After that, I felt a lot better. Still pretty nauseous and still hard on the stomach. Oh my God, there's ants everywhere. I don't even care. Oh, come on back. Relax. Yeah, so I puked, and then I proceeded to struggle mentally just with the darkness coming on and the sunlight going away. You know, and this was my intention, was to face the darkness. Physically, I've never camped alone. I can't remember if I said this at the beginning of the video, but physically, like I said, I've never camped alone out in the wilderness in the dark. And that's kind of been a big fear of mine. Just afraid of the dark, afraid of what's out there, the unknown. So I was facing that fear of the actual physical darkness. But then I was also going in to face the darkness of the unknown parts of myself, of who am I and what darkness is in there that needs to be loved and transmuted. You know, as scary as it might be, and as, you know, those are the parts of us that we push away because we don't want them. We don't like them. And we think, and we label them as bad or whatever, but it's just either pain or trauma that has happened to us. Not that we want to play the victim, but when we push those things down into the shadows, they start to manifest and they lower our vibration. And when we have a low vibration, we attract and fit in, basically, you know, you fit in with other vibrations of the same frequency. So whether that's money, you know, if you're going to be a low frequency, you're going to vibrate with no money. You know, so then this is how law of attraction works. We're attracting these things to ourselves. So I wanted to go in and face the darkness, face the shadows of the reality of, you know, who I am, and just love every part of me, as good or as bad as it seems, and just love it for what it is, and that will bring the healing. And that love is what raises and transmutes that frequency to a higher, higher vibration. So on the physical level, I think I threw up. You know, those beliefs that I held on to that were low frequency. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but at some point, I think that's what I tried starting the fire the first time, and it was kind of struggling to get it going. Finally got it going a little bit, and I was like, oh, this feels good. You know, the warmth, the fire. That's why they're after all the mango juice on my utensils. So yeah, I got the fire going, and then just at some point I was sitting here like this, cross-legged in front of the fire, and I just started peeing myself. Okay, and this is after, so that's right. So I was deep in the medicine, going on this crazy journey of, and by now the sun has set. So like during this process, the sun had set, became dark, and I remember just struggling with giving in to that and just relaxing, you know. And that was part of like the writhing in pain, the struggling. It was like I didn't want to surrender to the darkness. And so when I finally could, I was like this struggling is tiring. It's too much. I'm just going to surrender. I'm just going to let go. And when I came out of it, I was over a different spot. I had knocked over my water canister to put out the fire. I don't know how I wasn't more wet. I think I was more wet in my pants. So I got up and I was like, I need to start a fire. I'm all wet. And then as the fire was going, I just found myself relaxing so much that I peed myself. And I was like, noticed it was happening. I was like, I think I'm just going to let this happen. And then I was kind of in the fire for a little bit, gazing into it, not in it. And I woke, and I kind of just came out of that. And because the fire was struggling so much, I kind of just I remember getting mad at it at some point, like, fine, I'm just gonna go to bed. I just peed myself. This is so stupid. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I out here taking mushrooms? Like, I'm out in the wilderness and alone in the dark. I'm gonna die out here. And so like I peed on the fire to kind of put it out. And then all of a sudden I just realized like how wet I was in my pants. And I was like, is that all pee? So then I just kind of started freaking out, and I didn't know what to do. I was really struggling with getting the fire going again. I was getting cold, and I was like, kind of coming back to reality of like, oh shit, like I'm in a survival situation right now. I've got myself into a big mess. I've peed myself. I can't go to bed all wet. I'm gonna be freezing. I need to dry off. So I was like, I need to get this fire going again. And I was struggling, and I'm pretty sure I used all the fuel in my lighter. And then at some point I was just like, you know what? Like, just use what you got. And I had to sacrifice my toilet paper roll. Though thinking back now, I could have probably set some toilet paper aside, taken it off. I didn't have to do the whole thing. Anyway, I sacrificed my toilet paper roll to get the fire going. It finally started, and it felt so good. And I was able to get all dried off and really contemplate what I had been through, and just kind of, I don't know, I kind of feel like it was this initiation into manhood, facing the darkness alone, something I've never done, not on the outside, but also on the inside, you know? And as within, so without. Our outer world reflects our inner world. And I was so afraid of the darkness on the outside, and it's because I was really afraid of the darkness on the inside. And I was just able to kind of settle into this peace of it, of being alone in the dark, the fire, playing with controlling it and not letting it get too big, but not letting it get too small that it goes out, and then I have to struggle to get it open again or going again. This is really cool. Like, I did it. Like, I survived, and the whole time I was just thinking about my wife and my kids and how much I just love them and I want to be with them. Like, I remember during the trip, like, what am I doing out here? I should be home with my family. And it was just this realization that, like, they are what's most important. They are everything. And I just love them so much. And again, it goes back to that love, right? Giving them my energy, because I know that they're going to give it back. They're going to fill me up. And not withholding my love, because I realize, and I've had some situations recently that have made me realize that I've been holding back my love because I don't feel worthy of love, and I've also been rejecting the love that is sent to me by my family, by my wife, or other people. Rejecting or hiding from it, protecting myself from it, because ultimately that belief that I wasn't worthy of that love. But the reality is I am. I am worthy. I am lovable. I am love itself, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. Going back to the Taurus field. So hopefully it feels like that belief that I'm not worthy, that I'm not worthy of love, I think that's what I threw up last night. And I hope that it's finally gone for good, because it's been holding me back in my life. It's been making me struggle. I've been struggling with it. I've been struggling with life. And I remember saying that last night at some point during the writhing. It was like, I'm just struggling all the time. I'm so tired of struggling. Struggling to survive, struggling to make money, struggling to have a good relationship, struggling to love myself. And I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, why am I struggling? That's my choice, to struggle with it. It goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, is like, trust life. Don't struggle with it, just trust it. Just be like water that flows down the stream, over the rocks and the twists and the turns. And it can kind of take the shape of wherever it goes and whatever purpose, whatever container it's put into. Trust life. Love yourself. And know that everything's going to be okay. The sun always rises. The darkness does not last forever, but the darkness is where the magic happens. It's where the rest happens. It's where the creation happens, right? It's the unknown. It's the final frontier. That keeps going. It's the creation process. It's out of the darkness, out of the void, out of the nothingness, that new things, new possibilities can happen in your life, in the universe. And as we continue to propagate throughout this fractal timeline, we will just get more and more in love with ourselves. Alright, I think that's pretty good for now. I am going to continue to process the rest of that journey. To conclude the story, yes, I got the fire going, and I eventually got myself dried out. And then I went to bed around 1 o'clock in the morning. And woke up this fine, beautiful morning at like 5 a.m. So, I'm actually kind of ready to get back right now. I'm ready to be with my family. I'm ready to just take charge of my life, knowing that I'm worthy of what I want, and I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna not try because I feel like I'm not worthy of it. You know, like last night, not worthy of the fire. I felt like a failure, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna end this video before it gets any longer. I could keep talking.